Now I want to get more into some physical aspects of the dying process, and we're going to start talking about more of movement at end of life during the dying process. So there are various kinds of movements that happen that go along with things like terminal agitation at end of life, and then there are other movements that are more purposeful in life review. Or related to things that your loved one can see that you cannot see. So you might often see your loved one moving in such a way where they're reaching out to touch something that is not there, that you cannot see. And it may be to touch to see if something is real to them. So they may be seeing a loved one that has already passed away or a pet that has passed away. They may see them at the end of their bed or standing next to their bed, and they may reach out to try to touch to see if that person is actually physically there. You might also see them picking at their clothes. They may be touching their clothes. They may be picking things up that are on the bed that are not actually on the bed. And some of these things can seem like the person is confused. There might be some sort of issue with medication or some sort of neurological deficit. It could be a medication thing. It could also be part of the disease process. So that's hard to say without some investigation on that, and your medical team will be more helpful there. But these motions of touching, of trying to touch or pick things up are pretty common at end of life. Another type of thing that happens, this goes along more with the life review. So we talk about at end of life, different kinds of end of life, right? Like you can have a near-death experience and a life review. This is what people talk about when they have near-death experiences and they're talking about my life flashed before my eyes. Well, in a near-death experience, that tends to be sort of like a movie that you're watching. But people who are dying and not having a near-death experience are actually living their life review. They're experiencing it in real time, and to them it feels sensorially complete and real. And so some of the movements that people show at end of life that really don't make sense to you, especially the hospice team, because they don't know your loved one as well as you do, are motions that mimic things that they have done throughout their life. Right? So it may be related to their profession or their hobbies. If someone was a golfer, you may notice that they're trying to swing a club. And if you don't know that they're a golfer, this motion could look very strange. People that sew or knit could be sitting there mimicking these motions as if they were sewing or knitting, that sort of thing. Or preparing to go to work, if they were in a specific line of work. They may be putting on their uniform or their gear, say that they're a firefighter. You'll notice that they'll put on things like their helmet or a mask, respirator, that sort of thing. And these motions don't mean anything or look very strange to people who don't understand this person's life, the history, the things that they have done throughout their life. And this is part of a life review process that this person is going through. So at end of life, we have different parts and stages that we go through mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially, to further along the process. So some of this deals with towards the end of releasing things or letting go, and a lot of the process is just sorting. We're doing a lot of sorting to prepare ourselves for our death when we're dying. And this falls into that sorting category. We're sorting out the things that we have done in this life review, this lived life review, to make meaning of our lives. So motions such as repetitive motions that indicate that someone's doing something that they had enjoyed doing or was related to their work is very common at end of life, as well as reaching out to touch things that you and I could not see as a not dying person, to see if they're real. If they're, the grandmother that had passed before, if they can see them, they may reach out and try to touch grandma to see if grandma's actually there or they're a furry family member. And then also there just may be things that they're trying to touch and pick up that they can see that you cannot see at end of life. So we're going to move more into the category of motions in the next few videos that are common at end of life to help you know where someone might be along the process of death and dying, or might not be, because we can never really give an actual time or estimated time is very dependent on many things. So I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.